Matthew 24. And Jesus went out, and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him, for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. And peace to you, sincere brothers out there, the true house of David. And I wanted to go into this topic real quick because the brother did the sit down going into the penny, the parable of the penny. And a part of that parable, and men coming in, that's at the end, at the 11th hour, and coming in at the, coming in at an hour where, they didn't put as much as time as certain men would have put in. Like, men have been in this longer, but men coming in right at the 11th hour, they're going to have the exact same penny at the end of the day. Which that penny marks for what? Salvation. So what I want to do is I want to actually go into Matthew chapter 24. Now, these are all things that's going to be happening at the end of the world. And, one of the other things that I wanted to bring out too is Matthew 24:10, which is the highlight of this whole lesson, which I'm going to read again because we have to understand in these times, if you get offended, not just getting offended just at anything, getting offended at the truth of the scriptures or offended at who the Lord actually chose, you could be destroyed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Matthew 24:10 and then go into that word offended. Because what you have to understand is, if you actually get offended at the one the Lord actually chose, and you have a hatred in your heart, and it becomes a stumbling block unto you, you're going to be destroyed. Now, this is Matthew 24:10. And then many, it says, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Now, the key word, it says, many shall be offended. Now, let's go into that word offended in Matthew 24:10. Because when you understand this word, you're going to see that a lot of men are getting offended at the Lord's word and the Lord's men who they actually sent, which the Lord actually sent the little ones and sent certain particular men on the planet to be stumbling blocks in these last seconds of America to sift out the wicked of our people and to get their ass destroyed. Now, this is that word for offended.
Strong's G 4624, scandalizo. Scandalizo.
Right, scandalizo, it says to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way upon which another may trip or fall, a metaphor to offend. So certain things been brought out. Let's just say us bringing that scripture out in Revelations 22, where it tells your ass, where it tells you basically not to take away from the scripture. By us just telling men that, what the scriptures say, many men got offended, not actually understand that that's actually in the scriptures, and you shouldn't actually do that. Instead of taking heed to the word, what men did was they got offended and they went on this smearing campaign where they tried to defame us and try to destroy us, but not knowing that was just only something set up to draw all you wicked, evil men out so you could be destroyed. Now, check this out. It says to entice to sin. So when we put that up there, because that was actually in the scriptures, so that was actually a major stumbling block for a lot of you guys to get offended, so you could fall. Now it says to cause a person to begin to distrust or desert one whom he ought to trust and obey, to cause to fall away. Now, just from that little bit of, just because of that was brought out, and that Revelations 22 don't add or take away from the word, that caused many to be offended. And then you still see guys doing it. So it's like, you're not really coming against us. You're coming against the Lord in the scriptures. And the scripture says, a sinful man will not be reproved, but he'll find an excuse. And that's what happened. A lot of men find an excuse to actually take away from the word Edom and Esau, when you don't even have to take away from it. So that's a major stumbling block in these last days. The Lord said, many shall be offended. Now it says, to be offended in one, to see in another what I approve of and what hinders me from acknowledging his authority. Right? A lot of guys say we don't have authority because we're not one of the elders or known out there like that. Guys didn't accept what we were saying, but what we were saying is actually coming out of scripture. So many became offended. Now it says to cause one to judge unfavorably or unjustly of another. So that, what that offense actually did, it caused many to judge a certain situation which they really didn't understand, to judge it unjustly. Not knowing that you not having a correct judgment or understanding of things, which is in the scriptures, that can cause your ass to be destroyed. It says, since one who stumbles, whose foot gets entangled and feels annoyed, to cause one to displeasure at a thing, to make indignant, to be displeased. Indignant, that's right. So a lot of men became displeased. They came enticed to sin, and it caused a lot of men to fall away. And a lot of men became offended. And it caused a lot of men to basically stumble over a stumbling block. It's because of certain particular things men didn't agree with. Now, did we bring something out of our ass? No. We just brought what was out that was in the scriptures. And that stands in the scriptures to this day. And if you're a man of Lord, you got to stand for the scriptures. It's not a little thing. A lot of men just write things off like it's so little. Oh, don't worry about that. The Lord said he'd take your ass out the book of life. So a lot of men that got offended at that actually drew out a lot of guys that ain't fucking right. A lot of men got drew out. The Lord actually drew your ass out. And we see all you guys that ain't fucking right. And a lot of guys, they don't even know us, and they was making videos on it. Now, we don't give a fuck about it because, we move on about it. But according to the scriptures, that's what the scriptures say. But in the last days, as the Lord said, many shall be offended. Matthew 24:10. And then many shall be offended and betray one another and shall hate one another. So you have a very big spirit of hate out there in these last days because of the word's sake. So you have to understand that it's not us that speak, it's the Lord that speaketh in us. So if the Lord said don't do certain things and don't add certain things and don't take away certain things, you ain't supposed to do it. There ain't no excuse for that. There's no rebuttal or bringing out these scriptures, and just don't use the word if you have to take away from it. And this is what the Lord is saying. Psalms 37 and 38, it says, but the transgressor shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. So everybody that transgressed the Lord's word, the scripture say you're going to be cut off, and it's wicked. You see? So in these last days, the Lord set up certain stumbling blocks, which are what? The little ones. And they're going to cause a lot of men to fall away, to get offended, so they could be destroyed. That's what you got to understand about this truth. The Lord is using certain men to draw out a lot of you men to have y'all ass marked in these last days for destruction. And while you think things are so small that it doesn't matter and it's not a big deal, the Lord said not one jot or one tittle. So things that's actually big and things that's actually small is going to have to be dealt with. Now, if you get offended of that, then you're going to be destroyed. The Lord said the wicked will be basically destroyed, man. Now, Psalms 55 and matter of fact, let me grab something else. Yeah, because it's wicked to add or take away from the Lord's word. Why use the word if you have to take away from it? Don't even put it in there if you had to take away from it. And I know I'm kind of like harping on it, but this little thing was a big stumbling block to draw out a lot of men to get their ass destroyed. This is let me grab something real quick. Because that's what the Lord does. He uses stumbling blocks and the lively stones, like the Lord, they were set up as a stone of stumbling, a rock of offense. And the Lord and people always hated who the Lord sent. They always wanted the Lord to be who they thought was who the Lord was dealing with, not understanding that the Lord was dealing with men that men didn't have any idea that they was dealing with. See, just because people have the numbers and the clout, that don't make them a man of the Lord. But that's who people tend to deal with, not understanding that the Lord deals with men who he deals with. Psalm 65 and 4. Blessed is the man whom thou choosest, who the Lord chose, and causes to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied in the goodness of thy house, even to the holy temple. So blessed are the ones who the Lord choose, not who men may see and they might commend who they think. Because that's what this truth is about. It's all about who people like and who's favored in people's eyes. But the Lord said, blessed are the ones who the Lord actually chose. So I just got one more scripture real quick. Because guys don't really understand that if certain men are chosen and they brought out certain particular things that are actually true in the scriptures, that are right through the Spirit, a lot of you guys are going to get yourself destroyed because you're actually going against the scriptures. And then you say you're teaching the scriptures, just like the wicked scribes and the Pharisees. They say they were teaching the Lord's word, but when the Lord came teaching certain things out of the scriptures, they were against him. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, and he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. So we fear the Lord. A lot of you guys, you really don't fear the Lord because you're willing to take away from the Lord's word. And a lot of you guys that's not saying nothing about it, that means you either agree about it. You see, we're in a time where the Lord can use little things to actually shift men out of this truth. And that is the thing about this truth. So if you're not willing to stand up for what the scriptures say, then are you with the wicked? This is Proverbs 15 and 8. It says, the sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. So a lot of you guys teaching this word, which disagree with the scriptures and disagree with the Lord's men, your sacrifice is an abomination. So I just wanted to bring that out. Many shall be offended. Therefore, when you get offended in this time, The Lord is marking your ass to be destroyed. With that, hey, shalom.